Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Back again with Joshua Odem, J.O. And this is going to be the last installment of the series of interviews on this particular topic with him. Maybe we'll be doing some other things in the future. But I want to talk about when he, in this episode anyway, when he was graduating from our high school, getting ready to go to college, what that was like, and how the lifestyle that he was living off the court impacted and affected his life in basketball and how it led him here, right? That's what we're going to be getting into, y'all. So kick back, relax, and enjoy the show, y'all. What up, J.O.?
Yo, what's up, Joe?
Man, I can't call it, man. I'm glad you came back, man.
Man, you know.
For this final one. I hope that this is not the last one that we do in general, but this will be the last episode that we do in relation to, how you ended up here.
Mm-hmm.
I hope to do some other episodes talking about what you want to do when you get out and the things that you're going to do, and more about giving back.
Yeah.
But for this episode, bro, I want to get into when you you graduated high school, and how did you find out that you were going to go to college? Tell me about that.
Well, I had a lot of people used to tell me, like, man, a school gonna offer you. You got too much talent for a school not to offer you.
Right.
So I was playing with this AAU team up in Nashville called the Mid-State Ballers.
Mm-hmm.
And but we had to travel every weekend to come travel to Nashville just to practice. So I was with a family member and his daddy.
Right.
We went to 5 practices. We had to try out first practice, then we had some more continuing practices after that. But it was like, it got to the point where we can't come every weekend, right. So we kind of backed off of that. And then it was the last AAU basketball tournament in Florida. Most people that know AAU, that's where like the Nationals be at for 17 and under,
Mm-hmm.
And so I had the coach call me and was like, hey, Josh, I need you to come play this last tournament with me. I'll come get you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that's the only way that I'll be able to go
right.
is if you come get me.
Right.
Other than that, I won't be able to go.
Right.
Mom at work, I always got to work,
Mm-hmm.
Dad, in his lane, bobbing and weaving,
right.
So he was like, well, I'm going to come get you.
Yeah.
Long story short, next thing you know, I'm on my way to Florida, Orlando, Florida.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's going down.
It's going down. So I'm like, and then we know just about every basketball coach you can think of is right there.
Right.
It's there. And then we played this one particular game. It was called Team Breakdown. They was the number one AU team in the country at that time.
Mm.
And 2008. Yeah. It was 2008.
Yeah.
And so they had all the top players from that year. All top players from the next 4 years on that team,
Mm-hmm.
And we had some good players, you know what I mean? But none of us in the top was talked about to be in the top of that like they were.
Yeah.
So we ended up playing them, and it was just, like I said, about every coach you can think of, Joe.
Yeah.
From high major, mid major, low major D1,
right?
High major, low major, mid major D2. Everybody surrounded the court, and everybody came and watched the game. They was leaving they had like 4-5 courts going on, game going on. Man, they left theirs just to come see this team right here. that we was playing against. And man, thank Yahoo, man. He made me play good against them. You know what I mean? And they sitting there like, well, hey, who is this?
Right.
Where he come from?
Right.
We ain't know nothing about him. You know, because I'm in a small city, a small area, like a real small town.
Right.
You know, and they like, dang, where he? He ain't played AU this whole year. He only played what?
Yeah.
They ain't even played a game for this team yet. You know what I mean? So after that, we was up the whole game. Then we ended up losing by the last little bit of the game. You know what I mean? But just by that one game gave me that
exposure you needed.
Recognition. You know what I mean? And we can't. I mean, we playing against some. I can't really remember most of the guys' names, but we playing some cold brothers.
Right.
They got some great talent, you know what I mean? And it's just like being a part of that, playing against that, it brought my game out, and which helped me, actually developed me at the same time.
Right.
So after that game, that's when the ball rolled. You know what I mean? Offers is coming in. I didn't get no high majors because I still had another year to play a high school. Right. You know, and then after that first game, that's when I got my first initial look at, and it was from UTC Chattanooga.
Come on now.
And so I went back home, played that year, last year of high school. You know, I had, I want to say 22, 24 that year average. And I signed early. I was the 13th in the nation that signed. Yeah. And they was like, man, you signed too early. You know what I mean? But it was like, I wanted it for it to be over with. Because now I'm getting overran because I didn't know what to do. I ain't had nobody really sit and ask me my options or what you gonna do. Right. You know what I mean? But I know when UTC was looking at me, they used to come to my school, get me out of class, and I used to meet at the front office, and they used to sit and talk to me. Yeah. And they showed more interest at the time than anybody. Right. And I had University of Central Florida. We contacted each other on the phone pretty much like every other day. And I remember when the UTC coach was like, well, the school you got looking at you. I was like, UCF, because I was trying to get away from my hometown. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even if it was past 3 hours, I was trying to get away. You know what I mean? I was trying to go. Right. But it was like, if y'all people ain't never been into like a recruitment. Yeah. In that lane of recruitment, they like, we want to know something. We need it. What you gonna do? It's pressure. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. High school coach talking about, well, what you gonna do? I just heard from this coach here. You know what I mean? What you want to do? So I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm really waiting on UCF. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was like, well, I'm just gonna wait my options out. Right. But then when I get out of school, ain't nobody chopping up with me about it. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting lonely like, I'm playing 2K like.
Yeah, you talking about when you go home?
When I go home outside of school, ain't nobody rapping with me about it.
So you in school, this environment, they all on it.
They all on it.
When you go home,
but when I go home,
no conversation.
It's no conversation. They might be like, well, I had a coach like, well, pick 5 schools that you want to go. I always wanted to go to Florida, play for Florida. Yeah. Because that was one of my favorite teams growing up. Yeah. You know, I love seeing Florida and Tennessee play. Yeah. And but then I didn't know what to do. So we was playing as the year ago. You know, I had like D2 stews coming in the morning. We had practice at 7 in the morning before class start. So we'd go in there and play with her. I had certain schools come, you know what I mean, and then the crazy thing is I didn't even have my hometown school offer me.
Really?
Yeah. And I want to say I know why, because he probably done heard something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, well, I know how these guys is in this area. Yeah. They all the same. Right. They all in the streets.
In the streets.
There's something up. They all in the, you know what I mean? But he came and watched me practice, you know, came and watched me play, but he never offered. You know what I mean? And so going through that, boom, 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 middle of the season, so I was like, you know what? Man, I'm gonna get my mom like, man, I'm finna get this over with. Man, I'm gonna go sign a UTC.
Right.
Where them papers at? You know what I mean? Coach, let me go ahead and sign. Here you go. Let me get this out the way so I can focus on this year.
Right.
Not knowing that I could have went to a prep school. I could have added an extra year.
Right.
To develop my body. Because I was like 5'9", 5'8", 5'9" as a freshman. 6 foot at a sophomore. I hit 6'2" at a junior. Then I went straight to 6'5" as a senior. You know what I mean? And I'm handling the ball. I'm playing. I might play the 1, might play the 2, might catch me at the 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially the smaller. You know what I mean? A versatile player.
Yeah.
And I just had to get it over with. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm trying to focus on the court. Yeah. I don't want to, you know what I mean? And then when the season over, everybody like, man, you signed too early.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm sitting there like, well, June, I think about it as I process it, like, where was y'all at?
When you needed that insight.
Like, I needed that at the end to say, hey, this is your options right here. Come talk to me. I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to do it.
You had no guidance.
They had no guidance.
All on your own.
Doing decision. It all on my own.
Made the life
know what
decision.
I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang. You know, my brother, he going to college at the time. You know, he got his own stuff going on.
Right.
You know. So I went ahead and boom. And then here come graduated. Straight to Chattanooga. I go summer to get in summer school to get my, get my GPA going, get it higher just in case something happens. Me being a freshman there in the summertime is when I actually developed my game from working out, but I'm still in summertime. I'm prepared summer school. I'm shooting home on the weekend.
To do what?
You know what's going on.
Get money.
I gotta shoot home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm still shaping my life, sort of playing 2 lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? Trying to, this side of the fence, I'm doing this. And then on the other side of the fence, I'm trying to do this.
You can't be fully committed to the basketball because you're still in the streets.
You know what I mean? So I developed a lot though in summertime. When I'm engaged, I'm engaged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
when you're there.
When so boom boom. Out now summertime up in Chattanooga, I'm still smoking my weed, you know what I mean? And season about to start. And I was like, man, I don't even know where practice finna start, official practice. I was like, man, I don't even know where I'm gonna be out on the court. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know. Am I gonna get some playing time? But it was only certain people came in the summertime. That means we gotta get you prepared to play. Yeah. Which I didn't know that. You know what I mean? And they don't really put that in your head like that. They just want you there to work out, get better, Yeah. So I'm there practicing. So then it was like one of the seniors, he said he couldn't play because he was academically ineligible. Right. You know what I mean? So the coach came up to me and was like, AJO, I need you to start. So I'm like, yeah, think you can do it? Yeah. I love this game. I can do it. Yeah. He said, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I've been working in the summer. I'm ready. You know what I mean? So he like, all right, well, the starting position will be yours, but in practice, you got to prove it. You know what I mean, too. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's one thing about the college is, like, you couldn't slack on that court, practice or not.
Somebody
like your spot. I used to slack in high school a little bit, practices sometimes. You know what I mean? And then my, my sophomore year, I believe, junior year, we had a guy, Mr. Jennings. He played for Golden State Warriors in the 90s, you know. So he taught me a few things too. And I think he knew something was going on with me. You know what I mean? Because he used to say some slick stuff like, uh-oh, here go the back. Like, we'll be playing, bad guy 1. Other team 0. You know what I mean? And he say, you can hate me now. But I won't when he make me mad, he used to walk around and be like, you can hate me now, but I won't stop now. But not knowing, I'm thinking like, man, be talking to me like that. I'm acting like that because here comes the street
out of you.
Out of me trying to put it into basketball. You can't do that.
It won't fit.
It don't fit.
No.
So as I'm trying to make it fit, I ain't really knowing what he trying to teach me.
You missing the lesson.
I'm missing the bigger picture.
Right.
Here's the piece right here he telling me, but I'm just not putting it into the spot where it goes.
Couldn't get it.
I couldn't, you know. So, you know, I'm in there practice, boom, boom. The next thing you know, they're like, oh, shoot. It's yours. You started. Boom. First game, second game, third game.
What was that first game like?
Man, look. Like? I'm looking at it there like this.
People
in
everywhere.
The arena. Like, woo.
Yeah.
It's here.
Yeah.
You know, coming out with the smoke under the little tunnel and junk. You know what I'm saying? Man, we had a little globe try to break away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Snap on that.
Fancy that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm fresh, ready to cover it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then when you hear your name, and they call your name and starting lineup, it's different than high school. It just
it's totally different.
You know what I mean? Then they screaming and you just feel it.
Yeah.
And I had a good year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the year, I get in trouble. Well, let me go before. When the weekend comes after the games,
right?
Home or away games, we come back. I'm going to the crib.
You leaving?
I'm going home.
You still
3 hours away.
Still
I'm going home. I'm driving back Sunday. Late. I got class at 8 in the morning. I'm leaving the city 3, 4 in the morning. Tired. Full of it.
Yeah. Gone. Just gone.
Yeah. You know everything. What I mean? Everything.
Smoking, drinking, everything.
You know what I mean? Smoking. College athlete.
Good start.
I'm going to the crib. Went straight to the crib. Link up with the guys. We'll go out, have a good, you know what I mean, good time.
So what would they say to you when you would get home and the guys, you know,
look
you
at them, he home. What's up? Why you home? Ain't you?
Oh,
what's good, cuz? What's up, fam?
Yeah, all of that.
It ain't. What you doing?
Ain't nobody said that.
What you doing? What you? Okay, you down here. Yeah, Hey, man, you should have been back. What you doing?
Nobody ever said that.
What you got going on? That's the big one. What you got going on? You
never got that.
So I'm creating a habit.
Yeah, a bad one.
Bad habit. So I'm just going back.
Bad one.
Away game, we get back. Joe, I'm telling you, may get back. 11:30, 12 midnight. Guess what?
Right.
I'm jumping in that car.
Gone. Pew. Now, what did moms and pops say whenever you would come home?
Sometimes they didn't even know I was home.
What? Oh, you dead wrong for that.
You know,
you come home.
Maybe sometimes I would come home, and sometimes I would. They'd be like, "Hey, okay, when you going back?" Oh, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. I don't leave till tomorrow late morning. You know what I mean?
They think you still doing the right thing.
Thinking I'm still doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. You know.
So let me ask you this. Hold up. Let me ask you this. Now you riding back and forth, getting high, drinking, all this and that, right? Did your coach ever sit you down and say, "What's going on with you?"
He had say that. He said he had me in his office a few times.
Tell us about that. What was that like?
He said, okay. He used to call me to the office. He was like, man, I believe you can go far in this game. You know what I mean? He always told me that. I can believe you go far in the game. But you just won't let me in. What's wrong? You won't let me in. Me? Oh, nothing, coach. You know. Well, I'm hearing that you ain't been going to class a little bit. You know what I mean? Or you showing up late. Matter of fact, next time you're late, you'll be here 6 in the morning running this arena. So I ran that arena.
Quite a few times.
Man, they should have called me they should name that Mackenzie after J.O. Mackenzie Arena should have been the J.O. Arena.
Using that thing,
you know
right?
what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm in there, and then, or I may run the arena, or the weightlifting coach had me do something early.
Okay, let's get to what the coach said to you. Why wouldn't you let him in? What do you think he meant?
Now I think he meant like, talk to me.
Why is this wall up?
Like, why is it? He see the wall, but he don't know what the wall is. You know what I mean?
Did you realize the wall was up at that time?
Yeah, because what I was doing. I was still going back home, so I knew the wall was up. So I'd just be like, nothing.
You couldn't tell him, I'm getting money.
I couldn't tell him, like, coach, you know, I'm going back home. I'm doing street stuff. I couldn't tell him that. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, nothing, coach, you know, I'm all right. You know what I mean? I'm like, yes, I got you, coach. Yeah, I got you this time. My bad. I got you. It won't happen again.
Right. You couldn't tell him the truth.
I couldn't tell him the truth.
So the game prevented you from telling him the truth, which would have got you the help
which would have got me the help that I actually needed.
Dang.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would have.
So that's important right there.
Yeah, it would have got me
living that lifestyle.
Because you can't
be honest with people.
You can't be. And I built it up so long, like every day. Like people may look at it, well, it was only 4 years, but if you build something up for 4 years and you keep it inside,
it's a lot.
You doing stuff not even knowing you doing.
Yeah, you full fledged.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You fully committed to the game.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
then
basketball
I'm like,
is just a side thing.
Man, I was married to the.
You married to the
game, and basketball was my side hole.
That's it, right.
And I remember I had this man told me when I first got in trouble, he was like, now don't be tripping over them $1,000 to get these millions.
Come on now. Oh, he dropped some jewels on you, didn't he?
And it was an old veteran. Now let me tell you about the veteran. The veteran, as they call it, a smoker of the street. You know what I mean? And it's a white veteran, but he know. He's like, man, I heard you play ball. You real good. Now don't trip over these thousands for these millions. And I'm like, yeah. But at the time, I'm keeping it. I gotta keep it pushing. It ain't soaked in, but I'm just gone.
I understand what that means, but explain that to the listeners. What do you think he meant when he said, "Don't trip over them thousands"?
Man, don't trip over this money. Don't trip over.
You're worrying about this small
stuff. Don't worry about this.
This ain't nothing.
Don't worry about these little 20 racks, 30 racks. You know what I mean? When you can make these millions.
On put
top
some zeros
you can make some 20 million.
That's right.
30 million.
Yeah.
Don't trip over that. You know what I mean? But I gotta be right here. I gotta be right there. But I also I got class at 8. I gotta drive 3 hours just to make it back to class. So by the time I get there,
could be honest with your coach.
I couldn't be honest with the coach.
So what happened?
So that made me not really like. If I couldn't be honest with the coach, when I look at it, I couldn't even be honest with myself at the time.
Can't be honest with your coach. Can't be honest with yourself. So you can't fully commit.
So I can't. I couldn't commit to nothing.
So what happened? Where I think you were telling me when we were talking one time where you left UT Chattanooga, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about that. And where did you go after that?
Well, I'm gonna take it back a little bit. I was in a relationship in 2009.
Okay.
At the end of it, you know what I mean. And there was this girl. She was coming as a freshman. No, 2010.
Yeah.
She was coming into a freshman, and you know how people be like, "Man, y'all two link up together," you know. So we linked up.
Yeah.
And she cared about me a lot because she'd be like, how your grades going? How's school going? And she's like, we should always do stuff together. She'd be like, you always got some money. Now, I know the school give us Pell money, but you always got some money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what you doing? You always, you know what I mean? You always want to do something. You always going somewhere. Like, what you doing? Now, she from Memphis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she ain't, you know what I mean? So she was hip. She's like, so what are you doing? So that's when I just kept it real. You know, nothing, man. You know, I'm just blessed to have some money in my pocket. You know,
yeah, kept
it
real. Huh?
So I never stayed in my room. I stayed in her room the whole year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And we was around each other for so long. She started to pick up certain stuff. Like, wait a minute, why you just now getting back?
Yeah.
What's going on? You know, your coach said I'm the only person that can talk to you. The coach said, man, she said, your coach came to me like, can you talk to J.O. for me? He said, I know he'll talk to you, say stuff to you, because he ain't letting me in. And she just be like, what's wrong? Why you ain't letting me? I'm like, nothing, you know, ain't nothing going on. I'm just trying to figure it all out, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was hiding it from her.
Yeah.
You know, so I failed a drug test in 2009 for school. Suspend me 3 games. I was gonna be the freshman of the year in 2009, but by me failing that drug test, sweep that away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so, but I still kept getting in trouble, like not day to day, every few days.
Yeah.
Late for class.
Yeah.
Just late for stuff.
You just got bad habits at this point.
Might have an attitude. It ain't even got nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
It's just where on the other side of the fence in the street, like I said, I may shoot it over here, not meaning to, not knowingly what I'm doing, you know.
Right.
So when 2010 came, we was at E-Line, and he was like, you know, you're academically ineligible. We can't do nothing. I've been trying to do everything for you, but you ain't letting me in. So I'm thinking like, well, if I let him in, he probably would have done something. But he wasn't caring about basketball. He was caring about my well-being at the same time. Because high school cared about basketball, so they were sliding me through. This dude was caring about my well-being. So what he did is and that's when my brother was we leave E-Line, we came back, they dropped me off. My brother was getting married that next day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I had to tell my parents, like, you know, I got academically ineligible. You know what I mean? And my dad was in prison, in the feds at that time, you know, and to go back a little bit, not too far, I didn't really have nobody at my basketball games in college, you know?
Yeah.
And seeing like other people's parents come, like I'm seeing their parents here after the game, they linking up with their parents. You know what I mean?
None of that.
I didn't have none of that, so I'm looking like, damn. You know what I mean? So I shake off to the room, twist me up one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, or I may sit there a little long. Next thing you know, I got the booster club or other people's parents like, that's a good game. That's a good game right there. Shaking their hand. Next thing you know, I got something in my hand.
They sliding your little money.
Not knowingly now, like, that was a sign.
Yeah.
This is just the start of it.
Right.
Don't worry about that street. This is just the start of it. You know what I mean?
You're going to be okay.
You're going to be okay right here. You know, but not.
But you got to give it your all.
I have to. And that's what I couldn't do. I couldn't be, like you said, fully committed to
Let me ask you, do you think if they would have known the truth that they would have rejected you?
Yeah.
You felt it, yeah.
That was part of me not telling.
Yeah.
Because
you don't think they could have figured it out. You don't think they could have helped you. So it's best like, I'm not going to tell them at all because they knew the truth.
I would say I don't know if they would have rejected me or gave me the, you know what I mean, the help.
Benefit of the doubt.
But the fear of being rejected.
You just didn't want to deal with it.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst kind of feeling to being rejected, having that, you know, that's a fear of being getting that rejection. You know what I'm saying?
It's painful.
So it was like, okay, I got to keep it. I can't let them know. Even though it's like, I want to. My mind, I'm sitting there like blank, like I want to tell you. I sleep want to tell you, but I can't tell you. You know,
I'm scared to.
So when I failed the drug test though, they gave me I went to a therapist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm hard on the therapist. They like, well, what's wrong? You smoking weed? Is it a problem? I'm like, nah, it ain't a problem. Cause weed wasn't really a problem. You know what I mean? It was the street life that was the problem.
Yeah.
I just picked. Well, could I say I just picked the weed to cope with it?
Yeah.
So it gotta be like, okay, I gotta get this out my mind so I can go over here in this lifestyle.
It was. I'm gonna say it like this: the streets, and don't take this in disrespect, because I do not mean to be disrespectful. The streets is a fraud life. It's about deception.
Yeah, it is.
And you become a fraud, a trickster, when you live in the streets. So to cope with that, we get high. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? The weed is just a coping mechanism for this fraud that I'm perpetrating on everybody.
Fact.
I can't tell y'all who I really am because I don't like who I am. I most definitely know y'all ain't gonna like it if I tell you. So I'm just gonna get high and blow everything off.
Blow everything
You know
off.
what I'm saying?
Blow what you asking me off. So I'm looking.
I can't tell you this.
I can't tell you. You know what I mean?
I'm out here selling dope, smoking, drinking. I can't tell you this because if I tell you this, then I'm out.
I'm out.
So I'm gonna lie and keep the little bit that I have. But I'm really messing my whole life up.
Yep. So boom, I get academic eligible. Man, John Shulman, I gotta give him a shout out. That was the coach at the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Dig.
that's a great man.
Yeah.
You know, and he used to do a little saying like, "Y'all don't want to mess this up, or y'all gonna be waiting tables at a bar or something." Y'all keep playing. You know what I mean? But when I think about it, I'm sitting there like, was that for me?
Yeah.
Is he really shooting a shot at me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
But ain't nothing wrong with waiting tables. I mean, it's honest work. You know what I'm saying? But come on with it, though. You know, we ain't gonna do that. Yeah.
So, you know, so they sent me to a Chat State Community College,
right,
to get my GPA back up because he wanted me to come back. Just cause he looking at me like he just say, man,
you can really.
He said you can. You said you pick up. I'm picking up plays. You know, as you get to levels of different terminologies of basketball, I'm picking up on it. Like he like, man, you the freshman. I ain't never seen a freshman pick up stuff like this. You picking up the plays quick from different positions. You know what I mean? And he's like, you listen while you on the court a little bit. You know, and but you know, I still have my little. Well, you know, coach, shoot, we can do something like this. Do something like this, you know what I mean? But he put his foot down when he the coach. I'm the coach here, you know. So took me to community college, gave me the easy. Oh my God! Only class I say that I had to put in the effort was a boss class. It means building outstanding scholars.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And that was just the like life stuff.
But what was some of the other classes that you'd had to take?
I'm even embarrassed.
No, don't tell me.
I had a volleyball class, badminton class,
for real,
a racquetball class, and I had that building outstanding scholar class.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was just. They had it set up so.
With those classes,
they had
to show up.
They had it set it so sweet for me, Joe.
Yeah.
Where just show up.
They trying to get your GPA
just
back
show
up.
up. That's all you had to do was just show up.
You couldn't even do that.
I couldn't even show up. For the class, put me one in the air. I'm in class like, ready to leave.
You had a badminton class. You can't even focus on that. All you gotta do is hit the ball, man.
So the community college, their coach let me be around them, you know what I mean, while they practice, being sometimes in there with them, you know.
Right.
And their coach even was like, man, from the look, man, I heard you can play ball. You need to get up out of this and go back over there to the big, you know what I mean, to the big leagues. You sitting over here trying to get your grades right. So they gave me the class, get my grades right. And long story short, I didn't show up.
So what happened after that? So
man,
did you
they
get
said
kicked all
take
the way
your
out?
butt home.
That was
They
over.
said it's time for you to go.
Wow.
I tried.
They washed their
I
hands.
gave you the help. Washed the hand.
So
with
what
me.
happened after that?
So when I go home, Oh, I'm all the way in now.
All the way in the game.
It's over.
Now, before you get to that,
Okay.
tell me about that conversation with your parents. How did you tell your moms? I know you said Pops was locked up, but how did you tell your moms you was out? They had kicked you out, basically.
I was like, Mom, you know, I didn't do good at the community college, so they said I had to go home. There wasn't nothing. Coach didn't know no other route for me, you know. She was like, man, what was you doing? Now here it go. What was you doing? I don't know, Ma. I just guess I wasn't showing up to class. I wasn't doing good.
So you told her the truth.
I didn't tell her about the gizame yet.
You didn't tell her that
what I mean?
part.
I ain't tell her that part, but I told her what I was doing in school. You know, I was like, Mom, I'm smoking weed. You know what I mean? I ain't really showing up to class.
Yeah.
I'm doing my homework, but I ain't taking the time to study for no test, which the test has a bigger percentage. You know what I mean? And they go by attendance, homework.
Yeah.
That percentage there, but the test is always worth a lot more, you know, and you only got a few tests to take. You know what I mean? She was like, well, son, I hate that for you. When you know you can do better, I hate that for you, but we'll get through it. You know what I mean? So I go back home living with my mother, you know what I mean? Boom, boom. Now I'm in the game. Now I'm full time.
Does she know that?
Not yet, but she found out.
How?
You know how mamas now, they like to.
Oh, yeah.
Mama had skeptical. When I start being home more, and I started acting different, and she paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh, she meddling in the room. She meddling. She found to save some money and a pistol in there, you know, and she kicked me out.
Right.
She said, look, this ain't happening in the house.
Yeah.
Get out. So she sent me to what we call her Aunt Deborah of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
She sent me down there with her, you know what I mean? She said, I don't know what to do with him. He need to get out my house right now. He got to go because I don't want my son doing this. Look where his daddy is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I go to her house, and her son was in prison. He went to prison. You know what I mean? He was down for 15. You know what I mean? At the time. And he was good in basketball. You know? And so we doing that, boom. So I played it cool for a little bit on her edge, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, she caught the vibe too. She started messing. So she found some money and another gun. She said, well, I don't want you to end up like being my son, you know, where my son at right now. He gone for a long time. So one night I was coming back to Aunt Deborah's house. Well, they sitting on the porch waiting on me.
Aunt Deborah and your mom.
My Aunt Deborah and my mom.
They finna get this
waiting
intervention time.
It's showtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she get on there. I start walking to the porch. I'm thinking like, man, what they doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? So they on me. Yo, young boy, you tripping. Now I'm getting the talk. You tripping, but at the point though, I'm like, shit, I'm
you all the way in.
Old. I'm too far in. You know what I mean? So doing that, kept doing it. You know what I mean? Kept doing it, and then
But what was that talk like? I mean, what was that like?
The talk was good to hear that. It was good to hear it.
It was too late.
But it was too late for me. It was too late.
And how old were you at that time?
I was about like 20.
20 years old, and it was too late.
It was too late. 20, 21. Yeah, 20.
So when you couldn't hide it anymore, you got kicked out of school.
19.
19, 20 years old.
20, yeah.
So you got kicked out of school. You couldn't hide it no more. Your mom sees your patterns, and everybody else is seeing it. So
19.
They confront you with a conversation that would have served you if they would have confronted you, if they would have known in high school.
Yep.
But they didn't know.
So
that conversation came a few years too late.
Too late. So don't still kept doing it, you know. Then that's when I hit that first charge in 2011. Schedule 2.
So you got your first charge. What'd you get for that?
I got probation for that.
So you got probation.
Yep.
Did that make you stop?
No.
Okay. So
because when when I got hit with that, it took me 2 years just to give it fight. You know what I mean?
You out on bond.
I'm out on
So
bond.
you fighting
Just
the
from the fact I was saying
So
last
you gotta
time
pay
that
for the lawyer.
it was out there. It was
Yeah, you tried to fight.
You know what I mean?
I didn't have it on.
I didn't have it on me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we know how that works.
So the lawyer was like, I just don't know what it is, but he ain't going for that. That's the same judge that sent my daddy to the Fed.
Yeah, he ain't going.
You know, so the judge talking bad to me. You know what I mean? Oh, you just like your daddy. Da 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 da. That whoop
just
de
like
whoop.
your daddy.
Whoop whoop de whoop. You know
All
what I mean? So they gave me 8 years of probation in 2013. So I rolled on probation.
For how long?
Till 2021.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute then. So when? Because I know you were telling me that you went to South Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
So tell me about that.
2013. Boom boom, and like I said, God, Yahweh, Yahoo blessed me with a basketball talent. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And 2014, I hear from a coach. 2014, 15. Because they was trying
from a coach.
I heard from a coach.
Contacted you.
Well, the coach that was about 35 minutes, King College from my hometown, he needed a player, but their security system, how it was set up, wouldn't allow me to go in there because I was a felon. You know what I mean? And it was like a private college, Christian college, you know? So he contacted the South Carolina coach. He said, well, you know what? Since you can't get in here, I know a coach. So he calls that coach Brandon Scott. Is one of my role models. You know what I mean? Role models and mentor. I would say he'd be my mentor too, you know? And contacted him. He immediately drove down, talked to me, was like, you know, I want you on my team. George Pitt, Coach Pitts, man, one of the greatest. He coached at Brentwood too. I could have went to Brentwood Academy, but my last year, but he ended up going to a college and getting paid more, which is understandable. You know what I mean? So he was like, yeah, Coach Pitts told me all about you. You know, I know you on probation, but we'll figure all that stuff out. I want you on my team. I'm like, you serious? He like, yeah, you serious? So I'm like, okay, I'm ready. So look, so I started work. Then I got me a little job because I, you know, Pop was telling me, you know, you can't be in the game really if you ain't got no job. You gotta have something with some type of statement.
Legitimacy.
You gotta have something. Let it back up with something. So I ended up working at a laundry service for the Tri-Cities in the area, and so I work in there. You know what I mean? I'm still on probation.
Yeah.
And then I'm driving. I guess the officer knew who I was. Did something. I had a little half a blunt in my pocket, so I go to jail. Violated my probation. So I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
He just offered me, you know, he just offered me another way to go to school.
Right.
I done messed it up. I was like, damn, I done messed it up. I get a letter. I still got these letters. I get a letter while I'm sitting in the county talking about, hey, this is Brandon Scott. I don't care what you did. I still want you on my team. I'm sitting there reading it like, I called my mom. I said, Mom, the coach said he still want me. He told you to give him a call, let him know my court date is, and he on his way.
He coming.
He coming.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh
Wow.
man, sign. You protected.
Yeah.
Y'all like, man, you protected. Just
Trying
get
to help.
out of this.
Yeah,
Get,
stop.
you know what I mean?
Stop.
Just stop it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like a month. I go to court. They gave me 90 days. Say if you do 90 days, you know what I mean, get served. Time served. So the month before I had court, here comes the coach. And the judge looking like, what is going on? You still want him? Like, what's up? So The DA like, nah, he don't need to go nowhere. He need to sit right here. You know what I mean? But the coach like, I don't care what he done. I believe in this man.
Mm-hmm.
I want him on my team. So I do a month. Soon I get out, he was like, soon you get out, pack your stuff, go to South Carolina. I don't want you down here.
Yeah.
So I go to South Carolina, got everything supervised in South Carolina. So now I'm sitting in there about 3 weeks before school started.
Mm-hmm.
We practicing. I'm shooting home. I'm still
dipping
and dabbing.
Couldn't
you know
stop.
what I mean? But I had my first daughter at that time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Isabella. And I was telling her mom, was like, you know, I got offered to leave again, you know what I mean, school. And I was like, I think that's the best thing for me to do than just sit down here like this.
Right.
So I went there, getting supervised, and where I was still latched in, I'm still
doing
hiding something. But
still
this
doing
man right here was different. He could tell that something was really, and he told me before, he said, I'm going to be hard on you like no man has ever been hard on you. Like he already could tell something was going on.
He trying to get in.
So make that little story short, I met with him every day. We had a time set. Every day. But when I got there, I said, y'all give me 2 weeks and my game will be right back. You know what I mean? Give me 2 weeks. I'm rusty. We ain't got no gym in our county. Give me 2 weeks. 2 weeks, they was like, man, we got something here.
Mm-hmm.
Going, seeing them, reading, give me the Bible to read, give me stuff. Then he asked them questions. How you feeling? How you doing? I couldn't say good. Oh, I'm doing all right. Because he'd go, what you mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
And you got grown man problems. You ain't just feeling good. You young, but you got grown man problems. You got a kid. You on probation. You know what I mean? You can't mess up with anything right now. The people that's on this team ain't got none of that. Yeah, one of them had a kid, but on the outside of that kid, he ain't got nothing to deal with you got to deal with. So I know you need money. Are you going to start selling drugs again? He like...
He's on you.
He's
giving you what you need.
Like how we having the conversation like this. We sitting across. He at his desk. I'm on the other side. He on it.
Mm-hmm.
On it. But I'm still like in a shell. Mm-mm. But he trying. I'm sitting in the room. He'll call. What you doing? I'm sitting in the room smoking a blunt. I'm thinking my teammates telling on me.
Yeah.
He like, what are you doing? I feel like you doing something you ain't supposed to be doing. So I'm looking at them like, hey, y'all telling on me right now? What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, we ain't saying nothing, but he just knew. You know what I mean? He just had that feeling, that urge.
Yeah.
So I had a good, outstanding year though with him. We ended up winning the conference. You know what I mean? Our conference on our side. You know. And he said this one quote. He said he had 3 things he lived by that we had to keep it on the team: thankful, indebted, and humble. And he used to tell us, I still remember, control what you can control, and you never know how bad you are until you try to be good.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But me, rebellious kid,
that foundation, you still in the shell.
And then,
okay.
Yep.
Let me ask this, because I want to get to the point. You end up leaving there.
Mm-hmm.
And went back home?
Yes.
How did you end up here?
Back to selling drugs.
You got back in the game.
Right back in the game.
Got back in the game. Okay.
Yep.
So, bro, we're gonna have to do another. We're gonna have to, man, because I don't want our listeners to not get all of this story, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to do another. So y'all listening out there, I said this was the last one. This can't be. I can't let this end like that. We're gonna have to do another one so I can round this story out. I want you to get the fullness of this. because I think it's some good stuff. It's a lot of good knowledge and wisdom in this episode, in all the episodes. But right now, what would you say in 30 seconds? What would you say to those parents out there that might be dealing with their child that's in that shell, that's not talking to them? What would you say to them? What advice would you give them to do?
Interact. Even if it ain't talking, think of their interest
and do that.
You know, and don't pressure it. You know, don't direct it too much in anger.
Yeah.
But kind of like passively go. It ain't like beating around the bush.
Be
but
there.
Be there.
Yeah.
And find what they like and just take them out and just do it.
Now,
just do it.
What would you say to that young kid? What would you say to yourself right now, that younger version of you, which is all these young kids out here? What would you say to the young J.O. about life, that approach that you took? What would you say?
If I had to tell myself this, I would say, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Make sure you listen. Listen to everything. And don't be afraid of being weak. Don't be afraid, not necessarily like weak physically, but don't be afraid to be weak mentally.
Be vulnerable. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid to be a little boy in the mind.
That's what's up. I appreciate you doing that. We're going to do another one, man. Okay?
All right. Yes, sir.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Y'all know what's going on. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
Peace.